that this was an accidental discharge that resulted in the tragic death of Mr. Wright.
That was Chief Tim Gannon a moment ago after releasing that footage, that officer body cam footage. And to reiterate, the police chief says he believes the officer reached for her taser and accidentally fired her gun. The mayor of Brooklyn Center says he supports firing the officer who fired her weapon, killing Daunte Wright. And as you can hear in the press conference, there was anger in that room, demands for that firing to happen right this moment. And as Derek Chauvin's murder trial continues, just 10 miles away from that room, the state is moving in more National Guard members after hundreds of protesters flooded the streets around the Brooklyn Center Police Department overnight. The air thick with smoke as police fired rubber bullets and chemical agents, some protesters throwing rocks, garbage, and water bottles at police, some smashing into businesses at a nearby mall. The National Guard and Minnesota State Police moved in around midnight with riot gear and batons. Schools in the area have moved back to remote learning amid worries of much more unrest. More
Crazy.
on all of that in
I'm just sitting here
moment,
watching the news, right, doing some research
on what's been going on in the Derek Chauvin trial. Back in that courtroom in Minneapolis,
they saying that
the
it was an
overnight
accident.
events took
The
center
officer did not
stage.
know the
Just
difference
listen
between
to what
a
happened
taser
again
and a
this
gun.
morning.
Yes, Your Honor. At this
How
time,
you don't know the difference between a taser and a gun? Kiki, what's good?
Of the jury in view of the incidents of last
I just
night.
said I got to see what everybody else thinks, man. I just went live. I'm sitting here working. I'm doing some research. I'm watching the news, so I'm gonna be watching along with y'all right now while I'm
This
working.
day 11 of this trial, the defense wants
how
the
you don't
jury
know
to
the
be
difference
sequestered
between a
because
taser
of what happened last night.
and a gun?
The judge quickly denied that.
Here's a
but he
taser,
did
y'all.
say he expects closing arguments
This
to
is a
begin 1
police
week from today. And
issue
at that time, the jury
taser, right? Police issued taser. That's a police issued taser right here. Right? And here's a police issued guns. Right here. Y'all can tell the difference, right? Let me know if y'all can't tell the difference between this, and these. I could tell the difference, and I'm not law enforcement. It's crazy. Let me just finish watching the news, man.
by focusing on his life. There is so much to absorb on both of these stories as we await
This is
testimony to
ridiculous.
resume.
Yeah, I'm
joining
watching
me now is
NBC
NBC
Live
News
right now
correspondent
while I'm
Gabe
talking to y'all
Gutierrez, who
because
is
I'm
in
just doing some
Minneapolis,
research
and NBC
for
News correspondent
tomorrow's
Megan
show.
Fitzgerald, who is in Brooklyn Center, a suburb
Crazy.
of Minneapolis. Also with me are former prosecutor and civil rights attorney David Henderson, former
What's
chief
up, Ralph?
public
Ralph, how
defender
you
for
doing?
Hennepin County, Mary Moriarty, and former federal prosecutor and MSNBC
Too much
legal
going on, man. We
analyst
got DMX.
Paul Butler. Everybody,
We
welcome.
lost too soon.
I just got to talk about that news conference.
We got the George Floyd trial going on right now. And you know that's going to be bananas. And the crazy thing about this, both situations happened in Minnesota. So this young man, Duality, he gets killed 10 miles away from where George Floyd was murdered. Wow. Minnesota again on fire. So, you know, they started wilding out.
Absolutely. Extraordinary.
They started wilding out already in Minnesota, man. They started rioting, looting. And it's like, man, it's like we can't catch a break. Then as I'm researching today, as I'm researching right now, I'm going on different news sites and on Facebook, like MSNBC or NBC on Facebook, Fox News, whatever the case may be. And I'm seeing people leave some dumb-ass comments. People are leaving some dumb-ass comments, saying some insensitive stuff. This young man just lost his life. I don't care what he was doing. So initially they pulled him over for the registration. It was expired registration. Then they got on him about having air fresheners in the window because it's illegal wherever he's from. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? 2 cops, 1 young boy, 20 years old, right? He didn't have weapons or nothing like that. Again, we feel the need to shoot him. So the excuse was, I thought I was grabbing my taser. I thought I took out my taser. And I'm trying to understand the bullshit. like, I'm trying to really understand the logic, how you can't tell the difference between a gun taser and an actual gun. One, there's a weight difference. If you ever held both, there is a weight difference. Somebody make some sense of this to me, man. This what's going on right now.
Casey?
I mean, this is
Paul,
what's going on right now.
This is a senior officer.
Yeah, they're gonna be protesting.
To the police
Yeah, they're gonna be
chief,
wilding
and
out.
He says that he believes she did this on accident, that she intended to fire her taser.
And these police that wild out on these protesters,
that incident that she said
it ain't gonna be like the Capitol riot when they was
said,
able to just do anything they wanted.
I fired my gun. What is your
It ain't
reaction?
gonna be like the Capitol riot. These police
over
are going to bust some shots,
and a
break some heads, and everything.
Not lead to the death
These protesters not getting away like
so while it's appropriate that
all those folks at the Capitol riot. I'm just tired of it, man.
Press conference does not inspire confidence that this.
I'm doing research. I just said, let me go live. Let me see how everybody else is feeling about this. This is crazy.
The chief seemed defensive and protective about the officer. He rather summarily concluded that she's basically exonerated because it was a mistake. It reminds us that the police cannot effectively police themselves. So in these cases, there's always the need for an independent investigation.
Paul, we've seen incidents like this before, these accidents. I wonder about the training. I mean, isn't it normal that you have the taser and the gun on different hips so as to better protect against not
Absolutely.
confusing
This is a taser.
those two very different weapons?
These are tasers, and this is guns,
it's an
police
unacceptable
guns.
mistake if that's actually what it was. Training is clearly an issue. If the officer confused her firearm with her taser, that's a choice that had fatal consequences.
Tiff, help me out.
And Katie,
help me out, Tiff. How you can't tell the difference between a gun and a taser? This is getting to be too much, man. I said, I gotta go live. I'm like, maybe is it just me, or like, maybe it's just me. I don't know. I don't understand what's going on really right now. Yes, it's BS. Period. Exactly. Shout out to Jamal D. Harris. Laughed my ass off. She just said, my point on. No doubt. Ava says somebody needs to be held accountable for the bullshit that they do. This is so disturbing. But nobody's going to be held accountable. That's the problem. Tiffany said they aren't even carried on the same side. Facts. Let's listen to some more BS.
The thing is that they discovered that he had a warrant. That warrant was on a gross misdemeanor gun possession case, so not a felony. The other thing about it was it was actually summoned to come into court.
Somebody call in.
And we don't even know if
call in and just talk to me about this, man. Talk to me. 646-233-1302.
So why was she even using?
I'm sitting here supposed to be doing research
on
for
him
tomorrow's show,
at close
and I just had to go live because I can't believe this
offenses. And that's one of the reasons people are so angry. The other reason is last night the police used chemical irritants and rubber bullets on people who were trying to get information about what happened. And part of the problem was a lack of transparency. They didn't release any information, and all the information that was coming out was coming from the family and the mother and that kind of thing. This press conference was a disaster. Because the police chief was defensive. And I could hear the voices of many activists that I know from Minneapolis, actually, who were there. This will certainly not be the end of the protests on this case or George Floyd as well.
Well, let me ask you a little bit more about that, because that again, was an extraordinary news conference. I've never seen anything like that. Rarely do you have activists in the same room. Rarely do they get as many questions as they do. Rarely do you see a police chief put on his heels the way that he was. He exited the room at one point and then was, he was almost coerced to come back in to answer more questions. Mary, it felt like, again, nothing like I'd ever seen before.
Yeah, I was seeing tweets from local journalists that they were all locked out. So most of the local press did not even get into the room, and that's I don't know
Shout
how
out to
this
Big
ended
D
up
Holly.
that way, but
Yo,
that's how
man,
we ended up with a lot of
it is it's sick. It's crazy out there. Period, man. It's like for simple things, you know. And granted, if the registration's not right, you're getting pulled over or whatever. I get all of that, right? But here's the difference, right? We never get to walk away from stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, at least not of late. It's like there's a big difference for the same situation. There's a big difference based on privilege, and that privilege is based on what skin color you are, and it's real talk. And I see a lot of people talking about, yeah, the police. Let's call it for what it is, and I gotta say this for what it is. Real talk. It's not all police, but it's white law enforcement that we have this problem with, predominantly white law enforcement. Let's call it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like they have a fear of our skin, and it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand because for the same exact situation, we don't get to walk away. But the ones with the privilege, they get to live another day. The ones with the privilege get to live another day, and it's getting sickening, man. It's getting sickening. I can't take it no more. I'm like, what do we do? What do we do? All right, so y'all concerned about a few stores getting looted and burnt up and whatever the case may be. Meanwhile, again, you look back on January 6th, the Capitol gets stormed by thousands and thousands of the ones with the privilege. Nothing really happens to them. Even if you do lock them up or whatever, they're released the next day. You release them to go on vacation and go to Mexico, whatever the case may be. People getting locked up in Minnesota for protesting, being outraged, which they should be outraged over the fact that you just murdering us. Like again, no pun intended, but like our lives just really don't matter. It never mattered. Like, so what? Another black life is lost. So what? Okay. All right. So here's the thing, right? So this is very simple. If you cannot tell the difference between a taser and a fucking police gun, you need to quit. You don't need that job. You shouldn't be on the job if you can't tell the difference between these two things. Accidental. So talk to the young man's mother, the 20-year-old's mother. I'm sorry, miss, I accidentally shot your son. I thought I was using a taser, but it was a gun. So you think, so that comforts the mom a little bit better. That makes the mom feel a little bit better that you said it was an accident. I thought I was using a taser, but it was a gun. So she gets administrative leave. So what's administrative leave? Let's talk about what administrative leave is, okay? So that means you didn't get fired. You still got a job. Administrative leave, I think you still get a paycheck. You should be done, fired. Policing is not for you. You should be locked up, period. Why is it always a different situation when it comes to us? At some point, man, listen, y'all talking about defund the police, all this, whatever like that. Let's call it for what it is, man. It's white law enforcement. White law enforcement fears black and brown skin for some reason. I need y'all to tell me the reason. Why do white law enforcement fear black and brown skin? And we have to talk about it. It's like, come on, man. Somebody call in, man. 646-233-1302. Make some sense out of this. Yeah, this is impromptu. I'm doing research for a show tomorrow, and all this was coming up, man. I'm just like, damn, come on, man. We just DMX, right? And then we got to look at the daily news and see Prince Henry or whatever on the left side and DMX on the one side, and our beloved Prince Henry, our troubled DMX and blah, blah, blah. And then y'all pick the worst picture y'all could of DMX, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like always two sets of rules. always these double standards, man. Tired of the shit, man. Real talk. Tired
Trying
of
to
it.
poke holes in these expert witness
Listen to
testimony and the
this
testimony that they're
bullshit they're
giving,
talking
but these
about.
are experts in their field, and it feels like
See,
he
what's
just,
good?
you know, it's David versus Goliath here when he's trying to question
Tracy,
them.
what's going on? Tracy said, I can't believe they even giving us these excuses with a straight face. Yeah, it's BS. Pamela Houston said, yes, administrative leave still gets paid. See, you know, so they still get paid. You can listen, murder a black person, you still get paid from your job. It's that simple. Tracy Curry, because they know the power we possess. Facts, man. Facts. I mean, I don't know, man.
Before they go home at the end of any given day, given
I'm
that the
just sitting
medical
here listening
examiner
to the
was the
news for
last
some
witness they
research.
heard from on Friday afternoon.
This is live.
Who gave some testimony that was
For the
good
news.
for the prosecution, but also gave the defense some room to poke holes, even though
Another
they
thing.
didn't take great advantage of it.
Why are we really having this big, long, drawn-out trial, right? So we also, it's funny because people's like, oh, well, they got video footage of it, you know, so blah, blah, blah. They could see that he basically had his knee on this man's neck for 9 minutes, and that was the reason why he died, and this and this and that. This is this big, long, drawn-out trial over this crap. Where bottom line, you know, Chauvin is a murderer. He killed George Floyd. Bottom line, he has a smirk on his face. He wasn't trying to get him help. None of that. You're an officer, protect and serve. If you're dealing with a mental patient or somebody that's mentally ill or a drug addict and you know they're on drugs and you already handcuffed them and their hands is behind their back and they're on the ground, what kind of freaking threat are they? Where's the threat? When you got 3 officers right there, where is the threat? 3 grown-ass men. And so this is the hypocrisy of this BS country that I'm just like, I've been realizing, but I'm like really seeing it even more clearly. This is the hypocrisy of this, that we're actually watching a trial that's being drawn out for about a month. It's going to be drawn out for about a month for them to give this man a light sentence or to come up with some BS. Again, it's like privilege always wins until we start coming together and we got to change the narrative. So another reason why I came on live, because I feel as though that we need to start controlling our own narrative. This is why I really came on live. So I really want to offer some opportunity, a learning opportunity, and just for some people that want to get down with me, man, I want to really create a straight up full day news outlet for BKS1 Radio where we control the narrative, where it's our narrative and nobody else could put a spin on it and everything, where we got a squad that's going to do some research. We got a squad of hosts, and all we doing is just giving y'all information, research information, fact-checked information, all of that, because we got to start controlling our narrative. And what really burnt me up, again, is when I saw that DMX thing with the Daily News, you know, because, again, you gotta somehow demonize us when it comes to us, all right? Prince Henry had his issues with him, whatever, this 90-something-year-old man that passed away, whatever, that most of us don't give a damn about, whatever like that. But somebody like DMX, we see DMX as our brother, as our cousin, as our friend, as our uncle, you know, however you saw DMX, whatever, because none of us are perfect. Everybody got their demons with them or whatever, right? But 9 times out of 10, when you see this man performing or doing interviews, what was he doing? He was praying. He was talking about forgiveness. He was speaking about God or whatever the case may be. They don't talk about that, right? So all the pictures the Daily News could have put on their paper, on their front cover, with Prince Henry on the left side and DMX on the right. Out of all the pictures, that's the picture you chose. You couldn't put a picture of X praying like that, or you couldn't put a picture that shows that side of him of strength, you know, of balance or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? It's like you always got to demonize us to the fullest. Like y'all perfect. Bothers me. Talk about gun violence and how this and savages and thugs and all this. Y'all the original thugs. Y'all the original thugs. What my dude say in New Jack City, Wesley Snipes? Ain't no Uzis made in Harlem. let's keep it 100, man. Where all the violence, where all the knowledge of violence comes from and where it stems from and all of this. Who's the originators when it comes to that? See, y'all done started something with me today. I'm telling y'all right now. Shout out to everybody, man, that's just tuning in. Shout out to Tiffany Barker, Tracy Curry. Tracy said, please do it, Norm.
What's going on?
And Kim Sharif said, always looking for the negativity in us. Facts, always. Tiffany said the Daily News is garbage. The old crypt keeper looking man didn't even like black people and didn't even deserve to have his pick next to DMX. Facts. But they won't talk about that. Tracy Curry said if George Floyd was resisting, there is no way he would have had his hand in his pocket. Facts. Avis, what's up, Renee? What's going on? I'm pretty sure that if any police officer is locked up, he'll be in protective custody. Put them in general population and let them feel the wrath of the people who are arrested for bogus charges. Facts. But yeah, I just want to change the narrative because there's resources that I have now, and there's things that we could do now, whatever, where this can really be a huge thing. We just need our own. I got the resources. I got the outlet for it. It don't matter what part of the country you live in because of technology now, whatever like that. If you really serious, if y'all want to put together a team, a squad, I want straight up news and an information portion of BKS1 Radio where it's just straight news, fact checking, research. We really going in on debates, whatever, because I'm tired of how the spin that they put on us. I'm tired of the narrative that they equate to us, and I'm sick of it, man. And it's like, look, I'm not getting no younger, so I want to end with a legacy of whereas we change the game and we put our own spin on things and our own narrative to things that provided the information that's needed to us. There's a lot of things I'm finding out right now, and you'll notice about some of the guests I got coming on future shows that are going to give us the information we need to win. There's so much information out there, and what a lot of us don't realize is that all we need is access. Right? I know so many talented people, right from Jersey, right from Plainfield, East Coast. A lot of people I run into, whatever. But what they're lacking is access and information to make certain things happen. We have to change that. We have to start sharing information. We have to start providing people with the necessary tools for them to use to be successful, to have a profitable business, and also just to win and be able to survive. A lot of us don't have the information we need just to properly survive. And we got to change the game because every day, more and more, the Michael Jackson song beats me in my head. Then they don't really care about us. And it's like, I'm seeing it. I'm like, yo, y'all really don't care about us. And if you just look on Facebook, man, go on some of these sites like the pages on Facebook, like Fox News or NBC, and just look at the commentary, right? And look at where it's coming from. Look at where the negative commentary about us is coming from. Look at where it's coming from. Okay. So people are blatant about how they really feel about you and me. People are so blatant about how they feel about you and me. And this country is changing every day, right? And it's like, what are we doing about it? How are we going to fix it? All right. We need to start sharing information. Let me just read some comments real quick. Shout out to Big D Holland. Said, how can we give praise to a man that did wrong and they want us to just look away from that? Facts. Tracy Curry said, look into that Sarah chick from New York Times that did that story on Dark Man. It will piss you off. Yeah, I'm really trying not to get pissed off because I'm at a point, I'm telling you right now, I'm like, I'm getting fed up. You know, and it's funny, man, because sometimes you try to fall back. Oh, that's just the way people are. It's always been like that, blah, blah, blah. But nah, enough is enough, man. Every time now. I'm just doing research today for tomorrow, and I'm seeing the stories, and then I learned about this other young man in Minnesota while the George Floyd case is going on, another situation. And your reasoning is it was an accident because I didn't know the difference between this and I didn't know the difference between that. That's your excuse. Wow. Okay. And we're supposed to just accept it. We are supposed to just accept it.
Testify about your brother, George Floyd. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And before you tell the jury about your brother, I'd like you to introduce yourself to the jury.
Shout out to
so they know something about you. How old are you?
Tiffany said, "You got this, Norm. I have a great legal team to newscast with you." Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
What's that? What they say? If you build it, they will come. Well, I'm about to build a team. I'm gonna find some dedicated people that's really about it, and get together, do our research, and bring the news and the info that we need.
First, can you tell the jury?
Because all news we don't need. Let's keep it 100. I can really care less about what's going on with Miley Cyrus and Kim Kardashian because we got real issues. We got real issues. And it's okay for us to have shows that just focus on entertainment and stuff like that. But we need, when I look at MSNBC and I look at Fox News, and shout out to MSNBC because they got some winners on this. Shout out to Tiffany Cross and Angela Rye. And these are the soldiers that a lot of us don't know about. Tiffany Cross, she has a show with MSNBC on Saturdays. And Angela Rye, she's either with CNN sometimes or MSNBC. And you got Joy Reid and you got some other folks that's out there that's doing it and providing that information. But it's not in abundance. And because the internet world is so accessible and everything, and then we have an internet platform that can reach anywhere in the country, whatever. I really want some soldiers that is about some information, even if we have to designate a time, like 4 hours, where we all just sharing information and trading off information that we research, not the BS blogs and the BS little articles or whatever that are not fact checked. And there's no validity to it. I'm talking about information that we check and fact check, and that there's enough people talking about it and reporting on it where it's legit, and we can share the information out there and all of that. Even like with this COVID relief package, right? So everybody, only thing anybody is talking about is the stimulus, right? So let me give y'all this real quick because I know about this because I'm about to have a guest here that's going to really break it down. Forget the $1,400 stimulus. If you got a small business, whatever it is, money out there for you, right? If you got a small business or you got just little problems paying your rent for your business or your lease or your mortgage or whatever the case may be, there's money out there for you. But a lot of us is just focusing on the $1,400 stimulus. Again, it's information we don't have. If you really break down that stimulus package, I'm not going to front Biden did his damn thing on that, right? Because it gives us so much room. He did a lot of things for the he put a lot in there for black farmers, but for us small business owners, he set up situations where they will pay your rent for a year or they will pay your lease for a year. There's also money, grant money becoming available. So you have to check it because it's based state by state of how they releasing the funds, but they do have the funds, and a lot of us don't know that. So some of y'all got small LLCs set up, and you run it you run it out of your house, or some of y'all got small retail shops or whatever the case may be. But there's money there for you. There's some money there for you, and you have to check. I'm going to have somebody that comes on that does this for a living and gets people these grants and help people get all these funds that's available to us that we don't know about. It's bigger than this $1,400 stimmy check. That's all we focusing on. No, there's some funds out there. There's some grants out there. There's some situations out there that's available for us that we need to take advantage of. And the problem is, again, is that we don't have the information, or we have it and we're not sharing it with people. We got to start sharing this information, especially with our people, man. And when we start creating this new news media portion of BKS1 Radio, you know what I'm saying? I want it to be news that shares us in a positive light. Even if all news ain't positive, but even if it's negative, that we find out the truth about what's really going on with this situation. Because Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is full of so much misinformation. It's full of so much misinformation. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be associated with misinformation, because everybody's sharing out and we don't research things before we share it. It looks good and the little headline looks good and we share it out. But what we're doing when we do that without fact checking is we're misinforming the people, right? So we got to change that. We got to change that. So I'm looking to build with some people right now. I don't usually open up all the time, you know, my circle to everyone, whatever. But if you're serious about it and you want to get together and you want to build something for us, let me know. Because we can sit down, we could brainstorm, we could put this thing together. Because this is something that we're lacking right now in our communities. We don't have the proper information, and we're not sharing the information that we do have. We got to change that narrative. Shout out to Treasure Chapman. She said the whole trial is a waste of time. Facts. Shout out to Dion Golfin. What's good, my dude? Tracy said, are they really giving undocumented residents way more money than the $1,400? Here's what I heard about that, Tracy. It's not so much they're giving undocumented residents more than the $1,400. They have certain things set up just for in that package just for immigrants. So they have certain things set up for them, right? And they have certain things set up for a certain group of people. You know, they have things in there set up for us too. You know, we have to look at it. They actually have some things that you know, like with the whole policing situation and the injustices that's been going on, there's a lot in that package that needs to be broken down. There's a lot in that, because all we know about is the $1,400. Why? Because, you know, we just think about that quick cash without really breaking down that whole COVID relief package, what it entails and everything. Because you know what? If you don't find out for yourself and you don't push the issue, they're not going to tell you. All right, I'm going to say that again. If you don't push the issue to find out what's actually in that COVID relief package, they are not going to tell you. When I had this conversation I had with somebody that works for the state, and y'all going to meet them, y'all going to meet, and it's a sister, and she's very informed, and she's a part of the machine. She's going to break it down to you, some of the things that's available and some of the things you can have access to. But the key is to having access. And that's what always keeps us behind the 8 ball, is because we don't realize that we do have access. We have to start asking the right questions, and we have to start pushing those buttons. Shout out to Deon Goffman, good financial planner advisor, Rashad Bilal. You can find him on Facebook and on Instagram with the same name. Okay, put that information out there. Tracy said, when are you having that guest? Please make sure you tag me. Yes, I'm going to have her very soon. She's actually helping me out with a situation. Shout out to my cousin Greg Booth. What's up, cuz? Yeah, man, let's get on this, because y'all put the word out there. I'm looking for people to create this black news media platform within the BKS umbrella. And we're going to make this thing pop, man. We're going to make it pop with sponsorships and city assistance and all of this, because I'm tired of them controlling the narrative. Shout out to Pamela Thompson. You're right about coming together. We have to find a way to focus on the issues at hand, put all of our differences, jealousy, who has what, and so forth aside. We did it 50 years ago. We could do it again. Facts. Shout out to James Rodman on the check-in. But again, that's what I'm looking to do. So if y'all serious, and again, only serious people, man, if y'all serious about creating a news information structure for our own people, where we could be on multiple times a day, either within the studio, or we have the technology where you can come in virtually, whatever, and we can share and segment information out there, similar to these other outlets, you know, the CNNs and the Fox News or whatever like that, where we control the narrative though, and we get to tell our news that's going to help our people or inform our people our way without always demonizing us, because somehow when these other outlets get a hold of information that's dealing with us or news dealing with us, we always tend to be demonized from start to finish. We got to change that narrative. Shout out to Shelly Coleman on the check-in. Shout out to everybody checking in, man. But yeah, I had to come on because I'm looking at the trial. I'm looking at the thing about the other young boy that just was killed in Minnesota, 10 miles away from when George Floyd got killed, and it just made me disgusted, man. I'm sitting here supposed to be doing research for tomorrow's show, and I just got disgusted. I said, let me go live, and I'm just sick of how things are being reported. So right away they go into what this young boy has done or been a part of in the past, or whatever the case may be, which wasn't the case this particular time. And the officer basically said, if you listen to the video of this young man being murdered, oh, I shot him, because she thought she was using her taser. If you are a police officer and you've been trained, right, I would think one of the main things that they would train you on is the difference between, again, a taser and a police-issued gun. Here's police-issued guns, and here's police-issued tasers. You can't see the difference? So it's not an excuse. And we got to stop accepting these excuses that they give us. These excuses that these police chiefs and officers give us for why they do what they do to us has to start becoming unacceptable. But anyway, man, I just needed to get on here and vent, because I'm getting tired of it. I know y'all getting tired of it. But one way or the other, they got to start respecting us. One way or the other, our lives are going to matter one way or the other. And that's all I'm saying, man. You know, listen, again, as cliche as it sounds, as played out to some of you as it may sound, no justice, no peace. Real talk. You don't start giving us justice, there can't be no peace. But see, when we say it, there's substance behind it. We're not going to burn down a whole city and kill people and murder people because our politician didn't get elected. You feel me? We're not going to run up on the whole Capitol and try to burn it down, storm it, and talk about killing the vice president and all of that, and killing people, members of Congress, just because a politician didn't get elected. When we protest, when we riot, when we're angry, when we're outraged, there's substance behind it. There's a difference. There's a difference. And y'all start being proud of the statement. Now listen, there's a difference between the organization BLM, and there's a difference between Black Lives Matter. The two are not the same. But stop letting them and allowing them to demonize the organization or demonize that statement, because they see it as one and the same. All right? The statement, Black Lives Matter, that's real talk right there. Our lives matter, and when we wear it, Black Lives Matter, and when we hashtag it, Black Lives Matter, that means something. That basically means get your freaking knee off our damn neck. BLM, that little acronym or whatever you call it, the initials y'all put together, that's not it. Y'all can keep that. But the statement, Black Lives Matter, that means something. So when you wear that on your shirt, you wear that. You wear that in your hat, whatever the case may be. You say it, Black Lives Matter, mean that. Don't let them try to demonize that whole statement, because the statement is true. Black Lives Matter. Y'all can keep the BLM and all of that, the organization, because now they're trying to demonize the founder of BLM or whatever, saying that they're taking funds and buying houses and mansions, all that. I don't care about that. I don't care about none of that. All I care about is that y'all get your damn knee off our necks, all right? And y'all give us the same treatment that y'all give the ones with the privilege. That's what I care about. So we got to start knowing the difference, and we got to start recognizing when we're being played, and stop letting them demonize everything that we hold true to us. Stop letting them demonize it and change the narrative to it. That's got to stop. Shout out to Michelle Rivera. She said, I'm sick of this. How could she not know the difference between a taser and her gun? I am so afraid for my husband, stepson, and all my brothers. They need to stop the hate. Yeah, be afraid. James Rodman, innocent white officers getting killed. They'll want to talk. Facts. And let's call it for what it is. When we start saying police and the police this and the police, no. I'm sorry, it's white law enforcement, and that's the truth. It's white law enforcement. Let's start calling it for what it is. And when y'all put your little statements out there and you post and your comments and everything out there on Facebook and Instagram, start saying that. People need to know who's doing this. That who's really doing this dirt. Yeah, we got a few instances here and there, whatever, where it's not them. Here and there, it's sprinkled. It's sprinkled like sugar or salt. But it's not in abundance like that. Let's call it for what it is. It's white law enforcement, man. They're out of control. They fear black skin. They fear black and they fear brown skin. It is what it is. Dion said plausible denial. Yeah. James Rodman said exactly. White officers are the culprits, period. Exactly. Call it for what it is, man. Stop sugarcoating it, man. Call it for what it is. And God forbid that Chauvin gets off. God forbid Chauvin gets off, man. You see how Minnesota right now is out of control over this young man, this 20-year-old man that just lost his life. God forbid. All I'm saying is, if you're not speaking out against it, then you're about it. So for the officers that's not speaking out against it, what's going on? Then that means you're about it. And you get lumped up with the rest of them cats. Things got to change. Shit got to change, man. Shout out to William Johnson. It's been the norm for so long that the power that be throw money at it. Our ancestors would not let us be quiet when a black man say it's wrong. Shelly Coleman said, facts. Shelly Shell, what's good? What's going on, man? Yeah, I had to jump on here because I'm sitting, I was sitting here doing research, sipping my coffee, whatever this is in this cup. And I turn on the news, doing my research, and I see more BS.
Yes.
What scholarly?
So I'm watching this live with y'all right now.
I study the regulation of policing.
So how y'all really think this George Floyd trial really going to go?
I'd like you to
How do y'all think this George Floyd trial really going to go? And how do y'all think the situation with this young man that just got killed, how do y'all think that's going to play out? Because the officer that killed this young man just got administrative leave. How do y'all think it's going to play out? Put your comments in or call in 646-233-1302.
Before we get into your law career, have you always been in?
And do y'all think the prosecution is doing a good job with this George Floyd trial?
Becoming involved in academia.
Derek Chauvin
interrupted
trial.
my undergraduate education to take a job as a police officer with the Tallahassee Police Department, and then later as an investigator with the Florida Department of Education's Office of Inspector General.
I'd like you to please describe for the jury your experience as an officer with the Tallahassee Police Department. First, what year did you join the department?
I applied to the department in 2000 and was employed.
I agree with you, Tracy.
2001.
I agree with you. I think he's going to, somehow they're going to, because remember, all they got to do is show just a little bit of doubt.
Sure. So
All they got to do is show just a little bit of doubt.
Has a
Shelly, love and blessings to you as well.
I went to a
See you soon.
police academy.
I'm going to be having something soon, so I'm going to be inviting everybody. James Rodman said they're going to rub
from a number of agencies.
rub his innocence verdict in Black America's face, and we are going to war. Kim Cherie said, I believe he's going to get off it. Would surprise me if he is found guilty.
Pre-service training at the agency, about a month of classroom
Yeah,
training,
me too. I think they're going to find some little loophole or
training and hands-on
some little,
and then went through
type of doubt, and the jury going to let him go. Again, I want to be wrong on this. I want, if he's convicted, hey, so I want to be wrong on this one, but judging from what I see, with how they do when it comes to us,
as a police officer with that department.
I was there full-time for just under 5 years. The entire time I was there, I worked on patrol. That was our uniformed capacity officers who are responding to calls for service or pulling over vehicles and the like. I had some additional assignments as a patrol officer. I spent about 2 years on our special response team. I taught community self-defense classes and child abduction and molestation prevention classes in the community and the like.
And as a patrol officer, were you ever in a situation where you had to use force on an individual?
Yes.
You ever have to arrest somebody?
Yes.
Handcuff a reluctant?
Yeah, listen. I'm going to go back, finish some research I got to do for tomorrow's show, for the Man Cave Morning Show. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at let me see, 11:30 tomorrow morning and everything. But I got to finish doing some research on certain things. But remember what I said, if you're interested in starting a news media outlet for us, like, something serious, something consistent, where we're sharing information, whereas, we're giving people the right type of news, and create a platform where we're not being demonized all the time, hit me up. Just hit me up, inbox me, whatever. We can make it happen. It don't matter where you're from, because we could do everything virtually. Or if you're in the area, you could come into the studio and we can discuss how we're going to do it. I'm going to have a Zoom meeting about it next week. All right? So listen, thanks for letting me vent. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Be safe out there. Protect your kids. All of that. Y'all be careful. We start loving on each other a little bit more. We got to start loving on each other a little bit more, man. Don't take much, man. Just to show some type of love or some kindness when it comes to us, man. We need it. We need it right now. All right. So peace and blessings to all y'all, man. Thank y'all just for letting me vent, man. I just had to pop on. I'm sitting here doing research and I'm seeing the nonsense, over what's going on in Minnesota. I'm like, enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. So officers cannot tell the difference between a gun and a taser, and that just bothers me. That's going to bother me all day. I think I'm going to buy a police taser, all right, just to see if I can tell the difference between the gun and a taser, because it baffles me. Anyway, y'all have a good one. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man, on the Man Cave Morning Show. Peace and blessings.